Right, an open apology to Paddy Pimblett. UFC 314 was epic. Loads of highs and lows, but one thing stood out to me, and I felt it all week. I'm in the wrong. I've been fickle. You could say I've been a sausage. I remember when Paddy came into the scene. To be honest, I didn't know much about him before he got to the UFC. I could lie, but that's the truth. When he arrived, I was all over it. Like Gene Silver on Bryce Mitchell's neck. He had fresh energy and a cool gimmick. The hair, the entrance. I was all in, as I'm sure a lot of you were. And then his first handful of fights were really exciting as well. Not only was he skilled, but he didn't mind a tear-up. And he had that vulnerability factor that always gets me engaged in a fighter. Holding his chin up, his hands down and wading into war. All was going well for the old medieval-looking scrapper. But then, a couple of things happened. First came the Barstool sponsorship. Not only did this add a lot of industry hype on Paddy very early, and us fans, we don't like being told who the stars are. I mean, see Sugar Sean O'Valium. But this also pulled Molly McCann into the spotlight with Paddy. These two were then only ever seen with each other, and together they were quite insufferable. They definitely seemed to bring out the annoying in each other, and it did take the edge off Paddy. Then there was the Ariel Helwani beef. A few badly placed steps by Paddy and a few well-played moves by Ariel had Paddy looking full of himself and immature. Fans, including myself, sided with Ariel on this one, with Paddy coming off as arrogant. Then, the final nail in the coffin. The robbery win against Jared Gordon. At UFC 282, Paddy got an extremely controversial win. Pretty much everyone on the planet except Paddy saw that Gordon clearly won. This was made worse by Paddy calling for a fight of the night bonus straight after the fight. It came off terrible. Whilst it does go down as one of the worst robberies we've seen. In fairness to Paddy, when you're in there fighting, I'm sure it's hard to know exactly how it all looks. And that little string of events turned most fans, and again, including myself, against Paddy. He'd become a sort of half joke and half villain character. The UFC then thought it'd be a great idea for Paddy to fight one of the most loved and heavily declining fighters, Tony Ferguson. A massive lose-lose for Paddy. Lose to Tony and it'd be roasted worse than Brendan Schaub on Reddit. And win against Tony and you just beat the shadow of Tony and get no credit. He went out and he got a solid win, doing absolutely nothing for his popularity. He then went on to fight King Bobby and secured another solid win. When I heard about the news that Paddy was going to fight Chandler, I was buzzing. I mean, it's a safe bet for a fun banger. On such a great card as well. Awesome. With myself and apparently a lot of other people growing tired of Chandler's motivational speeches and constant cheating. As I thought about the matchup, I started really wanting Paddy to get the win. And when the fight started, I was full heart palpitations, leaning forward, talking out loud to Paddy. And fuck me, was it a great fight. Such a controlled and dominant performance from Paddy. And enjoyable to watch Chandler get shut down and battered like that. Let's face it, if we're honest, Paddy beat Chandler better than a lot of these top guys have. Some of these top guys have had a back and forth war, spicier than a fucking Louisiana hot sauce. Paddy not only showed that he's improved a lot, but he also showed that he's on that top level. And as Paddy got the win and I was buzzing, I was thinking about his next fight and his route to the title, and I was fully back on board the Paddy the Baddie hype train. But it did leave me feeling a bit ashamed of myself, embarrassed by my fickleness. So I want to say, I'm sorry, Paddy. I should have stood strong. It won't happen again. Now, I can't promise that I'm not going to continue to include the fat pics and the memes and all that in the future videos, because come on. It's all fun and games. Now let's get that Gagey fight booked, because that is about as good as it gets. The title run has started. Anyway, if you like this video, give us a sub, check out its playlist of recent bangers. I'll see you next time.